Welcome to Lost Girl Therapy. Let's talk about weaponization of therapeutic terms, especially if you are a therapist and your client starts doing that. So, it is not uncommon in therapy for a client to take things that a therapist says and then, absorb them to such a degree that they utilize these labels, thoughts, statements, etc., and begin to use them against other people or use them as an explanation for why they are the way they are. And for clients who are really struggling with getting in touch with their emotions, this is incredibly common. But as a therapist, it's very challenging, and you have to be incredibly vigilant about the words that you use, how you use them, and why you are using them in order to hopefully avoid that scenario. So if you have a client and they're talking to you and they're like, I don't really trust men easily, and their family history, and that there's a fear of abandonment, what you're not going to say is, well, perhaps you don't trust men because of your fear of abandonment. We're not going to say that. The reason being is that client's going to walk out the door and they're going to go, I don't trust men because of my fear of abandonment. Now, suddenly, they've internalized that to such a deep degree that that is the thought process that is going to play out with every interaction that they have with a man on the street. It doesn't mean that there can't be some semblance of truth to that, but it is so critical for a therapist not to feed them that type of information, not to say, you are this way because X, Y, Z. The client has to do a portion of the work in order to take what they are doing in therapy and then make it their own. And if we as clinicians are handing them these things and we're saying, it's this, it's fear of abandonment, it is because you have an inner child wound, it is because of X, Y, Z, and you're hyper-specific and you don't explain what you actually mean by that, and you don't ask the client if it resonates with them, and you don't flesh out your thought process, clients can leave an office and then wield those statements both as an explanation of self and against other people. And that really puts a massive block in the therapeutic process, because clients can come in and begin to start feeling like, well, my therapist has all of the answers. No. Your therapist never knows more about you than you know about yourself. And if you feel like your therapist has all of the answers and that you have to go to them to find what it is that you're looking for, that might not be the right therapist for you, because therapy has to be mutual. It has to be a space where you're working with someone to discover what's going on within you. You are not going to someone to be told how you are.